we are live at Queen's Park, where it appears Premier Doug Ford is doing everything in his power to avoid appearing at the Emergencies Act inquiry in Ottawa. He's now taking the Commission to court on November 1st to fight a summons to testify, a move that has opposition leaders both outraged and confused.
Other political leaders, Mr. Speaker, aren't afraid to talk to this Commission. Why is this Premier shaken in his boots?
After dodging that question for 2 days, the Premier broke his silence Wednesday on why he is refusing to testify in Ottawa.
This is a federal inquiry into the federal government's use of the Federal Emergencies Act.
Commission lawyers say both Ford and former Solicitor General Sylvia Jones were asked repeatedly to appear at the inquiry examining the federal government's use of the Emergencies Act to end the so-called Freedom Convoy protests in Ottawa and Windsor last winter. After exhausting all options, the Commission served Ford and Jones with a summons to appear at the inquiry on Monday, which they are now legally fighting.
This is obviously a federal inquiry into the federal government's decision to invoke the Federal Emergencies Act.
I'd like to hear the word federal one more time, Speaker.
While it being a federal matter was the defense of the day in the legislature, it wasn't mentioned at all in court documents obtained by CityNews. In them, Ford and Jones cite various legal grounds for not testifying, including parliamentary privilege that prevents members of the Ontario Legislative Assembly from being compelled to testify in any proceeding while the legislature is in session. The privilege allows members to carry out their functions free from external interference.
Parliamentary privilege? That's baloney, and everybody in this room knows it.
If the concern is interference with their duties, opposition members point out the House is not in session on November 10th, when the Premier has been asked to testify.
Not testifying is cowardly.
Court documents also say irreparable harm will occur should the pair be forced to appear.
We know what irreparable harm looks like in Ottawa Centre. We know about businesses that have been closed right now on the verge of bankruptcy, people choking on diesel fumes, people having to put up with ear-piercing horns, and it wasn't the Premier that helped us, it was citizens that brought an injunction.
Those court documents also revealing the Commission had emailed the Premier's office with a list of questions he could expect should he appear, including what were the Premier's intentions with respect to solving the Ottawa occupation prior to the blockade in Windsor occurring? What solutions did he have in mind? Why did he decline to participate in at least 2 of the 3 tripartite meetings with the City of Ottawa and the federal government? The Premier also said Wednesday this was a policing matter, not a political one, and that politicians don't direct the police.